Welcome to the mansion of midnight mysteries.
Bloody Mary. The autumn sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over the tranquil lake. Earlier today, Audrey and Tess had arrived at the small block house nestled among the trees for an extended weekend of relaxation and escape. The journey to the lakeside cabin had taken a long time, but now they were richly rewarded. The view across the lake to the mountains on the horizon was overwhelming. The air was crisp, and now the scent of fallen leaves mingled with the faint aroma of wood smoke from the fireplace. As they prepared dinner in the cozy kitchen, laughter filled the air. Audrey, with her wild curls and bright smile, was chopping vegetables, while Tess, more reserved but equally charming, stirred a pot on the stove. Their conversation flowed easily, like the steam rising from the pot. Tess looked at Audrey, who was focused intently on her task. It had been a while since they had shared a moment like this, and Tess felt a pang of nostalgia for the carefree days when they would spend hours together, laughing and dreaming about the future. Audrey, her brow slightly furrowed in concentration, spoke about her recent experiences on dating apps. She described the peculiarities of the profiles she had encountered, the awkward messages that sometimes made her laugh, and the occasional glimmer of hope when someone seemed genuinely interesting. Tess listened intently, nodding and offering the occasional playful remark, her heart warming at the sight of her friend's animated expressions. Tess felt a twinge of guilt for the time she had spent with Jake, her boyfriend, realizing how much she missed these moments with Audrey. She could see the flicker of longing in Audrey's eyes, a silent acknowledgement of the distance that had crept in between them. Tess felt a renewed sense of connection, a reminder that despite the changes in their lives, the bond they shared was resilient. With the meal nearly ready, they exchanged glances filled with unspoken understanding. The cabin felt like a world apart, a perfect backdrop for their reunion. Suddenly, Audrey recalled a childhood game they used to play, one that had always sent shivers down their spines. The thought of trying to summon Bloody Mary tonight and ask her to predict the future seemed like just the thing to do. Tess laughed when Audrey suggested it to her. After all, they were adults now and knew that nobody was waiting for them in a mirror. But the idea of repeating the game from their childhood was a perfect fit for their evening. After dinner, they moved to the dimly lit room with the only mirror in the cabin. The flickering candlelight cast eerie shadows on the walls. Audrey stood in front of the mirror, her heart racing with a mix of fear and excitement. Tess joined her, a nervous smile on her face. Together, they called Bloody Mary 3 times. At first, it seemed as if nothing would happen. Then, the air grew still, and a chill crept into the room. Suddenly, the mirror began to shimmer, and a ghostly figure emerged, a woman with a blood-red scar and dead eyes. Tess and Audrey gasped, gripping each other's hands tightly. The woman started to speak, her voice a haunting melody.
Good evening, my dears. What brings you to summon me?
Audrey felt a rush of adrenaline, her breath hitching in her throat as she stared into the mirror, captivated by the apparition. The air grew colder, and she could sense the weight of the moment pressing down on her, a blend of awe and trepidation swirling within her. The thrill of the unknown ignited a spark of courage in Audrey, pushing her to confront the questions that had been lingering in her mind. Tess, on the other hand, felt a wave of vulnerability wash over her. The ghostly figure's gaze seemed to pierce through her, revealing her innermost desires and fears. She was both terrified and entranced, her heart pounding as she grappled with the weight of the question posed by Bloody Mary. What did she truly want? The prospect of having her future unveiled felt daunting, yet it also stirred a deep yearning for clarity in her life, especially in her quest for love and connection.
Oops. Somewhat typical of your generation, one might say. My dears, what brings you to summon me?
Audrey couldn't resist her inner urge and asked about her future.
There are rules to be followed, my dears. I can only tell you something about the future on the basis of mutual trust and common understanding. So, my dears, tell me something about the world you live in. Say, what's hot on social media?
Despite their fear, Audrey and Tess began to loosen up a little, and their initial shock began to fade. Bloody Mary seemed oddly friendly, her demeanor disarming, her interest genuine. Audrey, still trembling, started to speak about her favorite lifestyle influencer, her passion igniting a spark of warmth in the room. Tess chimed in, sharing her love for cute animal videos, and for a moment, the atmosphere lightened. With a mix of surprise and skepticism, they felt a strange connection with the ghostly figure. And before they could ask themselves how social media trends relate to the future, Mary changed topics. She asked Tess about her significant other. Tess, inwardly highly tense, described her relationship to Jake as romantic and joyful, rich in common ground and shared interests. Mary listened attentively and paused before turning to Audrey, who, with an unsteady voice, described a loving family in which everyone has regular contact and supports each other. The silence that followed seemed endless to Tess and Audrey. Then Mary reacted, still with a friendly voice, maybe slightly colder, maybe dripping with a sinister undertone.
You are truly adorable, my dears, and I have a gift for the two of you. From now on, you shall no longer have control over your bodies. Step back, on your knees, hands on your thighs.
Before Audrey and Tess knew what was happening to them, they felt an overwhelming force seize them. Panic surged through Audrey and Tess when they realized that they were under the spell of Bloody Mary. Their bodies obeyed her commands. Their voices were silenced, their limbs frozen in place. Then, Bloody Mary stepped out of the mirror, her presence suffocating. The next instruction followed immediately.
Audrey, wouldn't today be a great day to tell us the truth about your family?
Helplessly, Audrey found herself speaking, her thoughts spilling out against her will, tears welling her eyes. She told how her brother was always in competition with her and never missed an opportunity to be mean to her. She told how there had never been fairness or love in her family. Finally, Audrey revealed how all of this had caused her a deep sadness that she had never been able to overcome. Bloody Mary listened intently, nodding as if savoring every word. Then she turned to Tess.
Tess, would you mind telling us the truth about your feelings?
Tess fought against the invisible chains binding her, but soon her voice betrayed her. She told how she admires Audrey for her open-mindedness and for the fact that everything seems to come so easily to her. She said that she realized today how much she had missed her. Finally, Tess unveiled that after today, she's not too sure about her relation with Jake and whether she has deeper feelings for Audrey. As Tess spoke, a whirlwind of emotions surged within Audrey: surprise, confusion, outrage, and an unfamiliar warmth. If she could have moved, she would have run away or embraced Tess, but she was trapped, tears streaming down her cheeks as she listened to her friend's confession. When Tess finished, the only sound in the room was the heavy breathing of the two young women. Bloody Mary's voice eventually broke the stillness.
Alas, that's pathetic. You living ones always bore me. Stay on your knees. You shall embrace each other as tightly as you can, forever.
Their bodies trembled as they fought against the compulsion, but Audrey and Tess found themselves drawn together, arms wrapping around one another. Both were crying now, the weight of their unspoken feelings crashing over them like a tidal wave. Mary cast one last disdainful glance at the two of them before she stepped back into the mirror. With a flick of her wrist, she set the blockhouse ablaze, flames licking at the wooden walls. The heat intensified, and as the fire consumed the structure, Bloody Mary rose into the air, a dark sphere hovering above the lake. The flames danced wildly, illuminating the darkened woods around them.